Joseph just stays in prison? Bummer.
He did for a while, but not forever. 2 years after the cupbearer was released, something happened with Pharaoh. He had some strange dreams and didn't know what they meant. It really bothered him.
Hey, this sounds familiar. Someone had a strange dream that needs to be interpreted. Who you gonna call? Dream Buster!
The Pharaoh got all of his wise men, sages, and the magicians together and told them to interpret the dream, but none of them knew what it meant. Then, all of a sudden, the cupbearer remembered that Joseph can interpret dreams.
Yes, it's about time you remember about him. Tell the Pharaoh! Tell the Pharaoh!
That's exactly what he did. Pharaoh called for Joseph to be brought before him and explained what the dreams were. In one dream, there were 7 fat, healthy cows standing by the Nile River. Then 7 skinny, ugly cows came out of the river and ate up the fat cows.
Hold on. Why are you giving me all the grief for my dreams? That was the weirdest dream I've ever heard.
The Pharaoh also dreamed that there was a stalk of wheat with 7 healthy heads of grain. Then 7 other heads of grain sprouted that were thin and sun-scorched, and they swallowed up the healthy grains.
Whoa, talk about weird dreams. Joseph's really got his work cut out for him, huh? What in the world did those mean?
God revealed to Joseph what the dreams meant, and he told Pharaoh everything. He said that there would be 7 years of plenty in the land of Egypt, with more than enough food for everyone. But after that, there would be 7 years of famine where there would be nothing to eat.
Whoa, that's pretty serious. So, what did Pharaoh do?
He was so relieved to know what the dreams meant. He was also so glad to know that the famine was coming in 7 years so everyone could start preparing and storing up food.
Awesome! But wait, what happened to Joseph? Please don't tell me he goes back to jail. If he goes back to jail, I'm just gonna start swinging.
No, he didn't go back to jail. The Pharaoh was so impressed with Joseph that he gave him a job. Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all of Egypt.
What? Seriously? The big number 2? Second in command? That is awesome!
Yeah, man. The only person in the entire country with more power than Joseph was Pharaoh himself.
Man, that is pretty incredible. You were totally right about God having big plans for Joseph's life. Doesn't get much bigger than that.
No kidding. Joseph's life was totally changed. And it probably wouldn't have happened like that if he didn't notice the people around him back when he was in jail. And something else was about to happen that nobody expected.
Nice try. I see you coming a mile away. You're about to do another to be continued, aren't you?
I sure am. Bam!
Yep, I called it. Totally called it.
Welcome back, kids. This is Disciple Town, brought to you by Bolingbrook Church. And I'm really excited because this is the final episode of a 5-part series we've been learning about. So in our whole story about Joseph, let's see, I've learned how I can listen to God. I've learned how I can trust God, honor God, and obey God. And that's 4. So one more for today. And today we're going to learn about serving God. Now, I'm wearing some special cool attire, which is kind of a little hint for you that I will explain a little bit more later. But for right now, let's get all busy and ready to pray to God. So are we ready? Hands, knees, eyes. Oh, can you see my eyes? Eyes closed. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the story about Joseph and how we can learn so much from Joseph and that we can be encouraged by his story. And you had a plan for Joseph and you have a plan for us. Please help us to listen and learn from your stories. In Jesus' name, amen. Praying is a way of worshiping God, but also singing is a way of worshiping God. So get up, get moving around because we have some really cool songs to sing with and sing super loud. Okay, hit it.
Open our eyes to see the need. Open our ears to hear the cry. The broken hearted, the wounded soul. You're calling us. We will go, we will be your hands and feet. We will run, we will reach the distant peace. Shine the light of the love to the ends of the earth. We will go, we will go.
happy Sabbath, everyone! I'm so happy to see all of your beautiful and smiling faces on this Sabbath morning. Now, today is the last day in our lesson series, Coats and Shackles, but it's not the last day of our Go Verse. Well, it's the last day that we'll be signing and saying it together like this, but it's a memory verse, and you have practiced so hard to make sure that it is glued inside your brain. So even when you're 100 years old, you'll still be able to sign and say it. It'll always be in your heart and in your brain whenever and wherever you need it. All right, I think we're ready to warm up our fingers so that we can go ahead and sign our Go Verse. Let's go ahead and warm up our fingers and our wrists and our arms by walking in place. Except we're not gonna walk in place with our legs, we're gonna walk in place with our fingers. Awesome, let's go ahead and move a little bit faster and break into a jog. Awesome, you're getting the hang of it. Now let's go ahead and go as fast as we can. We're sprinting, we're sprinting, we're sprinting. I'm tired of sprinting. It's time to do some jumping jacks. Jumping jacks. And if you want to get a little bit fancy, go ahead and crisscross. Awesome, now let's go ahead and do some high kicks. We're gonna work on that finger flexibility. We're gonna kick high into the sky. Awesome job, everyone. And to finish off our warm-up routine, let's go ahead and do some dancing. Do 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 do, and end with a split. Awesome job, everyone. Those were some cool finger dance moves. I think our fingers are all warmed up. So let's go ahead and move on into our Go Verse. Just to make sure that we all remember it, we all have it memorized, we're gonna sign it one time slow, all together. Here we go. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. These plans are for good and not for disaster, to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Awesome job, everyone. Now, since we've been signing and saying and practicing our Go Verse for 5 weeks now, I think we're ready to move on to something a little bit harder. So this time, I'm gonna sign our verse, and what I want you to do is to sign and say our verse. Now, I know that you can do it, so let's get on to it. And remember, say it nice and loud because I am still listening. Here we go. Awesome, beautiful, wonderful, amazing job, everyone. I knew you could do it. I am so proud of you guys. Now that's the end of this Go Verse segment, but I'll see you again next Sabbath. Goodbye. I love you.
Welcome back. Are you ready for some more story? But first, you gotta have my hint here. Remember we left off where, let's see, Joseph was in prison and where he talked to God a lot and God helped him explain people's dreams. There was the cupbearer's dream. Well, that was a good one. There was the baker dream. Ooh, not so good. And then Pharaoh's dreams. So all of those dreams were awesome. Joseph could tell what they meant, and people were so thankful, especially the Pharaoh. Well, now to my attire. In this story, there's going to be a lot of sun and a lot of dry. This is an SPF 50 t-shirt. I won't get sunburned, and it won't hurt my eyes either, because there's a whole bunch of people that are going to be walking across a hot desert because they're so hungry. So I can hardly wait to get to that part. It's the really best part. It's near the end. But first, Miss Debbie, where's Miss Debbie? Miss Debbie!
Hello, Disciple Town friends. I'm so glad to be back with you again. That's right, we are back at Joseph, right? And so Joseph's life so far has been like a board game. Have you ever played that game, Chutes and Ladders? You know, where you climb up when you're doing really good, and then all of a sudden you spin a bad spin, and you slide down, right? Well, that's just what's been going on with Joseph's life. One day he's high and everything, and the next thing you know, he's back in jail again. Well, we're picking up right now, though, when Joseph has just climbed up really high, and he is second in command of the entire Egypt. Is that incredible? It's mind-boggling. I just don't know what to say. So Joseph, now he is in charge of everything, right? He has done such a good job making sure that all of the time when it was lots of food, that everybody had plenty of food and weren't hungry, right? But now we're down to the point where there's no food. And what are we gonna do? Well, if it wasn't for Joseph and his plan, he made sure that during this time that all of Egypt finally had food just like before. In fact, there are people all around Egypt that didn't plan very well, and so they started traveling all the way across Egypt. And guess who came? That's right, Joseph's brothers came, right? Let's pick up our video right here and see what happened when Joseph's brothers came to see him.
It's time for a Bible story. The story of Joseph, part 4.
Wait, this is the last part of the story of Joseph, huh?
Sure is.
Man, this story got way crazier than I expected.
That's true. Joseph did go through a lot, but remember, through it all, in every bad situation, God still had big plans for his life.
No kidding, God's plan really was big. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, then he was lied about and thrown in jail. Now he's pretty much running the entire country of Egypt.
Totally. After Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, the Pharaoh made him second in command and put him in charge of preparing for the coming famine.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the whole famine thing. Bummer.
But before the famine, there were 7 years of plenty, just like Joseph said there would be when he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Joseph organized a system for all of the excess food to be stored in warehouses for the coming famine.
Dude, that would be awesome. An entire warehouse full of food. I would totally sneak in at night and Scrooge McDuck that bad boy.
Well, it wasn't for eating then, it was for saving. That's the whole point. Just like Joseph said, after the 7 years of plenty, there was 7 years of famine. All of the crops dried up and nothing would grow. There was no food anywhere. Not just in Egypt, but for miles and miles all around.
Oh no, what are they gonna do? If the people don't have any food, they're gonna starve, man! They're gonna starve!
I know, that's why Joseph stored up all the food, remember?
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
Joseph set up a system for people to come and get rations of food to eat so they could make the food last for all 7 years.
Man, Joseph is so smart. If I was as smart as Joseph, I would totally be an inventor and invent something awesome. Like a machine that takes bread and heats it up on the sides, you know? Oh, and you could put a timer on it or something.
You mean a toaster?
Hey, that's a great name for my invention. I'm totally gonna use that.
Well, Joseph was very smart, so God set him up to help tons and tons of people survive this famine that otherwise probably would have died.
Man, that is so cool. Joseph is like a superhero, except he saves people with food. He's like a food-per-hero.
It's definitely not a word, but millions of people from all over Egypt and the surrounding area would come and get portions of grain to take home. And one day, some people showed up to get some food that Joseph never expected to see.
The Power Rangers.
What?
Yeah, man. They gotta eat too. Gotta keep their energy up for all that morphine.
No, not the Power Rangers. It was his brothers.
What? His brothers are the Power Rangers?
What? No, his actual brothers.
Oh, like his brothers? Like the dudes that threw him in a pit and sold him off into slavery? How dare they even show their faces around here? What happened when they saw Joseph?
Actually, nothing happened. It had been so long since they got rid of Joseph that they totally forgot what he even looked like. When they were next in line to get some food, they didn't recognize Joseph, but he sure recognized them. There he was, standing face to face with the people that caused him so much pain and hardship.
Oh man, and now he's like second in command over all of Egypt, dude. He's got so much power, he could totally get even with those jerks. What'd he do, huh? Throw him in jail? Tar and feather him? Make him eat bugs?
Nope, he didn't do anything.
Wait, what? This is your chance, dude. Come on, Joseph, get some sweet revenge. Get even, do something.
Well, he did do something, but it wasn't what you might expect. He gave them a test.
Ah, nice. He gave him some homework. Got some revenge after all, huh? Brutal.
No, not like that kind of test. Since they didn't know it was Joseph that they were talking to, he wanted to see if they had truly changed or were the same old jerks they used to be.
Ah, man, he's good.
Joseph questioned them about where they were from, what they were doing there, and even asked them if they had any other brothers. They told Joseph how they did have another brother, but he had been gone for a long time, and they felt terrible about what had happened to him.
So wait, they were sorry about what they did to Joseph?
Totally. In fact, while they were standing there talking to him, they were saying that they never should have harmed Joseph so long ago. Joseph saw that they were sorry for what they did, and he was filled with compassion for them. After a while, he couldn't hold it back anymore. He told them who he really was. He was Joseph, the brother that they got rid of so long ago.
Man, I bet that was the shock of a lifetime.
It sure was. His brothers couldn't believe their eyes. They were so happy to see that he was alive and doing so well, but their happiness quickly turned into fear, since they knew that Joseph could get even with them now.
And he totally did, right? He was all like, "You bunch of jerks, eat all these bugs!"
No, he didn't do that. He forgave them.
Wow, seriously?
Yep. Joseph knew that getting revenge on his brothers would ultimately hurt his family even more, and God gave him the power to forgive them. Even though his brothers totally hurt him and got him into all sorts of trouble, they apologized for what they had done, so Joseph chose to forgive them.
Man, that is incredible. Way to go, Joseph. Taking the high road. Nice.
And not only that, but he brought the rest of his family to Egypt, including his father Jacob, who is now a very old man. And he was so glad to see Joseph alive. It was like the ultimate family reunion.
Whoa, I get it now. All these big plans you kept talking about, it's all coming together. Even in the hard times, when everything seemed to be going wrong, God was still with Joseph and used his circumstances to take care of him and his whole family.
Exactly. The story of Joseph shows us that even in the hard times, God is still with us. And maybe most importantly of all, that being able to forgive, even when it's not easy, can make all of the difference.
That is awesome. But wait, since this is the last part of the story, there's no more to be continued, are there?
Nope, that's a wrap on old Joseph.
Ah, man, I was just starting to like those. Gonna miss those little guys.
Me too, pal. Me too. Well, the end.
You don't have to say it like that.
Wow, what an ending to Joseph's story. To see all his brothers again, I'm sure he was exactly on a high to see his family again, right? But wow, he showed such a mercy and such faithfulness to everything that he was put in charge of. And you know what? That tells us, remember, that our verse today is to serve God and be faithful to his plan. So you can be serving God and be faithful to his plan no matter what happens in your life, just like Joseph. That's what the story is about, that no matter if we're in a bad situation or we're in good situations, we can still be just and mercy to everyone who's around us and treat them fairly. And especially in a time like now when there's so much chaos going on, it's important to look at our fellow men, brothers, and sisters and go, they're just as important as I am, and there's nobody that is more important, right? So this is a good time to remember to treat everyone with care.
Miss Debbie, thank you so much for that wrap up. And you know, that wrap up made me think of a Bible song, Micah 6:8. There's a verse that we can sing that talks about being just and fair and having mercy and forgiveness. And you know what? I think I might just have to keep singing that like all week long, just for the reason that you were saying. So I have my ukulele. And where's my ukulele buddy? Come on, Miss Debbie.
Right here.
So we're ready to sing, and we're going to sing it through 2 times. If you know the words, please sing with us. And by the second time, I think you will know it. So, be just and fair, and have mercy and forgiveness, and walk humbly with God.
And be faithful to God's plan.